Hello, everyone. Welcome to your feature release preview for Q2 of this year. I'm Stephanie Pepper, and I'm being joined by Ravi with us today. And we're just going to talk about what to expect in the next update, which we are planning to send out slowly tomorrow. We're going to let one of our guinea pig clients work in it a little bit tomorrow. The team and I have all been working in it for a couple months now. It's really awesome. We're really excited about this one. So do appreciate you guys all joining us. And Ravi, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. There's a few people joining, but this, as always, will be recorded to share with the rest of your team, posted on our YouTube channel. So please reference back to that if there's anybody that couldn't make it or you want them to get excited about what we got coming out. So again, this will be released to everyone at the end of this week is the plan as of right now. Okay, as always, administrators, please download your default grid layouts from the file menu in eManage. We always just say to do that to make sure that all your default grid layouts are coming through as usual. If we did make any changes to grid layouts. I'm not totally sure that there were any changes to grid layouts on this one, but it's always safe to do that on every single update, so I always like to mention that. So first thing, get started here. Huge enhancements on this one. If you were at my last webinar, you got a sneak peek of our new user interface for the project information window. So this is a little preview here. We did switch this over from our platform from Infragistics to DevExpress, and that is the plan to do with the rest of the application. So it's pretty exciting for us. It's just a lot more user-friendly. It's easier to work in on our side. And so this is the pilot for how we want the controls to look and act in the future. So as you can see, we've moved the modules and history menus. You guys are used to seeing 3 little tabs up top, 3 little menus, modules, history actions. So the modules modules menu has been moved to the left side in more of a panel style, and the history menu also. So you can see down here. So when you guys get into it, you can actually scroll to see the rest of the history items. So you can just use your mouse to scroll there. They do expand and contract. And then we've also moved the actions menu to a ribbon up top. So we're just exposing buttons that you're using all the time to save you some clicks, obviously to save you some time. So instead of hitting modules order entry now, it's literally just one click. So it's a little bit more user-friendly, we think, and like I said, you know, this is going to be the pilot for how we want the controls to act in the future. So this is the first window that we've done it to. And we're going to kind of run with this. We want your feedback. We want you guys to let us know what you think, good and bad. Please send that in to myself or support. We definitely want to hear from you and what you guys think. You know, exposing these action menus up top, you know, things you're constantly clicking on. We just want to get those more in front of the user and easier to access. Like I said, the menus do expand and contract the left panel. So you can see this little hamburger menu here. If you click on that hamburger menu, what it'll do is just contract like so. So just put the modules in the history menu over to the left. And if you click it again, it's going to expand back out. You also have these little arrows you can see next to modules and history. Those also expand and contract as well. So if you want to kind of make your project information screen a little bit bigger to see a little bit more information, you can just hit that little hamburger menu to minimize it. So pretty exciting stuff for us here on our end. We really want to hear from you guys what you think, good and bad, and let us know. Again, it is going to be the pilot for the other items, such as, you know, when you open up a company record, we're going to kind of mimic how this looks in every single window. So giving you more of a ribbon style and the hamburger menus on the left. So the modules, history, actions have just changed over quite a bit. Some new features that we have in this one, not a ton, as you can see, because we really were working pretty hard on that big UI change. So small change here. We did add those additional file type icons for your documents. So inside history documents of a project. If you guys recall, there was a small bug way back when there was an issue with documents, and so all the little logos were like E's for the eManage logo. Now we've updated them, and so you're going to see even some color coding to these different little icons. So just a little improvement there. For our Hayward dealers, we added the install and the ship to inside of the quote tool. So whenever you're submitting for pricing, you can now select your install at and your ship to, and it will carry through to order placement in batch entry. So just one less thing, one less piece of information that needs to get over to your order placement team to carry through. It'll just carry through automatically. So pretty cool there. Another Hayward dealers one is the ability to set default OFDA options at the company level. So that's this here. What you can do is actually go into your company records. So I just opened up a sample here. And what you can do is hit this set OFDA default and actually fill in those default options. So just again, one less piece of information that needs to be thought about or carried through. You set those up on the front end, and it's just less that you have to fill in. That is a Hayward only at the moment, and we're kind of running with that first, but we are going to release that for all the other dealers as well. So that'll be a really cool feature to release for the other manufacturers as well. Also, small change here, we did add division, the column division as an accessible field in the jobs installing report from the Today tab. You can see here, the division, what most of you probably have is something like confirmed or tentative, but some of you might actually be using that for divisions, you know, your walls division. Or so what we did was add that column in there. That was a request by a client that we have, and you can group, you know, your groupings if you're familiar with grid layouts. If you're not, definitely go and watch that video on our YouTube channel. But you can group by division now, which is kind of helpful for reporting in that particular area. I'm going to pass it over to Ravi now, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about some support enhancements and some bug fixes.
Okay, so this here in the screenshot, you can see probably something none of you guys are familiar with. This is our second window in DevExpress. It was changed from Infragistics as well. Most of you probably haven't been in it, but it is a lot nicer. So this is under the main tool menu, and it's called Support Center. Most of you may not be using this. It could definitely be helpful for any companies or dealers that have an internal IT team. It's basically just a way to track support requests. So this is what we're using internally now. And the reason we switch over is because it's just a lot easier to kind of pull data on what kind of support requests we're getting, the frequency of certain requests, and that way we can build better webinars and improve the help guide, basically just helping us help you. Right now we're tracking all phone calls through this, and we are hoping to, in the future, give everybody the ability to submit their own tickets through this rather than an email, again, just for easier tracking. Oh, let's get too much, sorry. Okay, so we had a lot of issues resolved this update as well. With the zip codes, that was kind of our first test on actually putting it out, so there was a few bugs with it. We've made it a lot cleaner when it deletes duplicate zip codes. In New York and a few other states that have special tax rates, those have now been added in there. So New York's was like a transport tax. It also will no longer wipe discretionary taxes. So anybody that has discretionary tax in their state can now do the import without worrying about that. On a project level, you can now copy and paste entire projects with the finishes. Before it used to always wipe the finishes. I believe that was originally a planned feature just so that everybody kind of double checks their work, but we've just started carrying it over because it makes more sense. For Canadian clients, copying and pasting from the clipboard manager always threw an error, although it would work if you refreshed. We just kind of streamlined that. It no longer will error. The completion orders for Hayworth Web Services will now go through if you select it in the dropdown when submitting it in the batch. Before you could select and it wouldn't actually do anything, but that is now actually translating over to Hayworth. We've also resolved an issue with Hayworth new partner requests that's on the quote level. So basically what that was doing before was it would send 2 pricing requests and one would get approved a couple days later because it had the actual partner request in it, and that would wipe any pricing that you had manually done. So we've streamlined that as well, and it won't do that anymore. Another little fix is that you can now print work orders from within a project by going to print reports in actions and installation. On the reporting end, we fixed the commissionable cost in the order bookings. It now will include only commissionable journal entries. Also with commissions, the estimated cost was including deleted or inactive POs, so that's been corrected. And in the order status that we introduced last update, the first install date and the last install date will now be correct. I believe before they were both showing the first one. In the current opportunities, which was also updated last update, it will no longer double count any quotes with multiple options within the quote. And 30, 60, 90-day projections day planner item, it wasn't showing anything within those time periods, so that's been corrected as well. It was only showing like the 30, the 60, and the 90.
And to add on to the print the work orders from within a project, since it has the UI has been updated, just so you guys are aware of where that's at. You see this print reports on your top ribbon there. So if you click that and you hit installation, you can now highlight the day that the item had been added onto the calendar and hit I believe it says print, but that will actually print the work order from within the project. There was no way to do that previously. You have to actually be in the calendar, highlight your item, print the work order from there. So now anyone can print as long as it's dropped onto the calendar. So it does still have to be dropped onto the calendar in order to do that, but just a quick way to access that from outside the calendar. Yeah, and I believe the 30, 60, 90-day projections wasn't showing everything within 30 days. So yeah, that has been addressed. So a lot of big stuff here on this one. As you can see, there was quite a few issues resolved. We're still going through and going through our list of open issues and just resolving all the bugs as quickly as we possibly can, with a few little fun things, sprinkled in. So we are, our, focus is obviously bugs, but at the same time, we are going to be updating the UI quite a bit this year. So pretty exciting stuff. Again, we want to hear your feedback, good and bad. If we're going to take as much as we can, and if it's what we're hearing from every dealership, obviously we'll implement that. Yeah, these are all because of you guys, letting us know where the issues are, what you want to see, and that's what we're doing. So focus is still on you guys. Appreciate all the feedback we have been getting, lots of really good feedback, and obviously we appreciate the bad as well, because it's only helping us help you guys, like we mentioned before. So we do appreciate you guys joining us. If there are any questions, you can feel free to chat them in. Both of us will be in the chat room for the next 5-10 minutes or so, or if you'd like to unmute yourself and address us that way, feel free. Again, our email address is on here as well, so if you have any questions after this, if anything comes up, feel free to always email us or pick up the phone and give us a call.